Hello everyone, welcome to the Morrowind Book Club. Today we're going to be reading the Arcturian Heresy. The Arcturian Heresy. The Underking. Whoa, the Underking? I haven't heard that name in a while. Wait, was it Underking? I think that's what Daggerfall, right? I think so. Anyways, Ysmir, Kingmaker. With his god destroyed, Wolfhearth finds it hard to keep his form. He staggers out of Red Mountain to the battlefield beyond. The world has shaken, and all of Morrowind is made of fire. A strong gale picks up and blows his ashes back to Skyrim. Wolfhearth adopts and is adopted by the Nords. I'm sorry. Okay. I'll explain later why I started laughing. Ysmir, the Grey Wind, the Storm of Kine, but darn it. Oh. But through Lorcan, he lost his national identity. All he wants the Nords for is to kill the Tribunal. He raises a storm, sends in his people, and is driven back by Tribunal forces. The Dunmer are too strong now. Wolfhearth goes underground to wait and strengthen and reform his body anew. Oddly enough, it is Almalexia who disturbs his rest, summoning the Underking to fight alongside the Tribunal against Adasum Dur Kamal, the Akaviri demon. Wolfhearth disappears after Adasum is defeated and does not return for 300 years. It is the rumbling of the Greybeards that wake him. Though the Empire has crumbled, there are rumors that a chosen one will come to restore it. This new emperor will defeat the elves and rule a united Tamriel. Naturally, Wolfhearth thinks he is the figure of prophecy. He goes directly to High Hrothgar to hear the Greybeards speak. When they do, Ysmir is blasted to ash again. He's not the chosen one. No kidding. I would have just ended the book there. That would have been great. Sorry. It is, I'm giggling today, I'm sorry. It is a warrior youth from High Rock. As the Grey Wind goes to find this boy, he hears the Greybeards warning, remember the color of betrayal, King of Wolfhearth. The Western Reach was at war. Cullacane, the King of Falkreath in West Cyrodiil, was in a bad situation. To make any bid at the unifying of Colovian estates, he needed to secure his northern border, where the Nords and Reachmen had been fighting for centuries. He allies with Skyrim at the Battle of Old Hraldan. Leading his forces was Hjalti Earlybeard. Hjalti was from the island kingdom of Alcair in High Rock and would become Tiber Septim, the first emperor of Tamriel. Really? Hold up. Hjalti was from the island kingdom of Alcair in High Rock and would become Tiber Septim, the first emperor of Tamriel. So the first emperor of Tamriel's real name is Hjalti, and he was from High Rock. That's an interesting little bit of information. Is this accurate? Like, is this like fiction? Or is this like exaggerated? Interesting. Anyways, let's continue. Hjalti was a shrewd tactician, and his small band of Colovian troops and Nord berserkers broke the Reachman line, forcing them back beyond the gates of Old Hraldan. A siege seemed impossible, as Hjalti could expect no reinforcements from Falkreath. That night, a storm came and visited Hjalti's camp. I was just picturing like a literal storm just showing up and just visiting. Oh, it did! Okay, it actually does! It spoke with him in his tent! At dawn, Hjalti went up to the gates, and the storm followed just above his head. Arrows could not penetrate the winds around him. He shouted down the walls of Old Hraldan, and his men poured in. After their victory, the Nords called Hjalti Talos, or Stormcrown. Oh. Talos. This is the first time I've heard the name from, the fan base from, the people who talk about Skyrim and stuff, because apparently, Talos plays a role in that. somehow. I don't know. But this is the first time I think I've come across Talos mentioned in game. Interesting, because I'm used to the other gods, right? The ones that we were really introduced to with Daggerfall. This is so far. This is actually turning out to be a really cool book. I like this one. Cuchulainn, with his new invincible general, unifies West Cyrodiil in under a year. No one can stand before Hejalti's storms. The Underking knows that if Hejalti is to become Emperor of Tamriel, he must first capture the Eastern Heartland. Hejalti, or is it Hjalti? Is the J make a J sound, or is it more of a Y sound? Hjalti? I will alternate between the two. Hjalti uses them both. He needs Cuchulainn in the Colovian estates, where foreigners are mistrusted. It is obvious why he needs Izmir. They march on the east. The battle mages surrender before their armies, and they take the citadel. Before Cuchulainn can be crowned, Hjalti secretly murders him and his loyalist contingent. Tiber Septim was a jerk! I'm so surprised. You know, in some of the previous books, we talked about corruption. I believe that was what, volume 4 of the Brief History of the Empire? If you skip that series, go back and check that one out. Maybe skip volume 3 though, that one was kind of bleh. Anyways, these assassinations are blamed on the enemies of Cuchulainn, which, for political reasons, are still the Western Reach. Zurin, Arctus, the Grand Battle Mage, not the Underking, then crowns Hejalti as Tiber Septim, new Emperor of all Cyrodiil. After he captures the Imperial throne, Septim finds the initial administration of a fully united Cyrodiil a time-consuming task. He sends the Underking to deal with Imperial expansion into Skyrim and High Rock. Izmir, mindful that it might seem as if Tiber Septim is in two places at once, works behind the scenes. This period of level-headed statesmanship and diplomacy, this sudden silence, heretofore unknown in the roaring tales of Talosian conquest, are explained away later. The assassination story is embroidered. Now it is popularly Talos' own throat that was cut. Okay, this one lost me. Let me reread this. Okay, I'm not too sure. Whatever. The human kingdoms are conquered, even Hammerfell, whose capture was figured to be an arduous task. The Underking wants a complete invasion, a chance to battle their foreign wind spirits himself. But Tiber Septim refutes him. He has already made a better plan, one that will seem to legitimize his rule. Cyrodiil supports the losing side of a civil war, and are invited in. Finally, the Empire can turn its eyes onto the elves. The Underking continues to press on Tiber Septim the need to conquer Morrowind. The Emperor is not sure that it is a wise idea. He has heard of the Tribunal's power. The Underking wants his vengeance and reminds Tiber Septim that he is fated to conquer the elves, even the Tribunal. Arctus advises against the move, but Septim covets the ebony in Morrowind, as he sorely needs a source of capital to rebuild Cyrodiil after 400 years of war. The Underking tells him that, with the Tribunal dead, Septim might steal the Tribunal's power and use it against the High Elves, certainly the oldest enemies of Lorkhan, predating even the Tribunal. Somerset Isle is the farthest thing from Tiber Septim's mind. Even then, he was planning to send Zurin Arctus to the King of Alinor to make peace. The Ebony need wins out in the end. The Empire invades Morrowind, and the Tribunal give up. When certain conditions of the armistice include not only a policy of non-interference with the Tribunal, but also, in the Underking's eyes, a validation of their religious beliefs, Izmir is furious. He abandons the Empire completely. This was the betrayal the Greybeard spoke of, or so he thinks. Without the Underking's power, all ideas of conquering Tamriel vanish. Would have been nice, Septim thinks, but let's just worry about Cyrodiil and the human nations. Already, there is rebellion in Hammerfell. Pieces of Numidium trickle in, though. Tiber Septim, always fascinated by the dwarves, has Zurin Arctus research this grand artifact. In doing so, Arctus stumbles upon some of the stories of the war at Red Mountain. He discovers the reason the Numidium was made and some of its potential. Most importantly, he learns the Underking's place in the war. But Zurin Arctus was working from incomplete plans. He thinks it is the heart of Lorcan's body that is needed to power the Numidium. This is an interesting book. This has got a lot of cool stuff in it. While Zurin Arctus is raving about his discovery, the prophecy finally becomes clear to Tiber Septim. This Numidium is what he needs to conquer the world. It is his destiny to have it. He contacts the Underking and says he was right all along. They should kill the tribunal, and they need to get together and make a plan. While the Underking was away, he realized the true danger of Dagoth-Ur. Something must to be done. Something must to be done. Typo. But he needs an army, and his old one is available again. The trap is set. The Underking arrives and is ambushed by Imperial guards. As he takes them on, Zurin Arctus uses a soul gem on him. With his last breath, the Underking's heart roars a hole through the Battle Mage's chest. In the end, everyone is dead. The Underking has reverted back to ash, and Tiber Septim strolls in to take the soul gem. When the Elder Council arrives, he tells them about the second attempt on his life, this time by his trusted battle mage Zurin Arctus, who is attempting a coup. He has the dead guards celebrated as heroes, even the one who was blasted to ash. He warns Cyrodiil about the dangers within, but says he has a solution to the dangers without, the Mantella. Huh. The Numidium, while not the god Tiber Septim and the Dwemer hoped for, the Underking was not exactly Lorcan. After all, it does the job. After its work on Somerset Isle, a new threat appears. A rotting undead wizard who controls the skies. He blows the Numidium apart, but it pounds him into the ground with its last flailings, leaving only a black splotch. The Mantella falls into the sea, seemingly forever. Now the Underking, I've got to revisit some of... It's been a while since I've played Daggerfall, but did we not meet someone by the name of the Underking in Daggerfall? So, like, the timeline here is messing me up. If the Underking died here, was that a different Underking? Or is the Underking like an immortal or something that we've met? Like he came back to life and we met him in Daggerfall. And if that's the case, then where's the was it Daggerfall or was it Arena? No, it was yeah, it was Daggerfall, I think. So if that's the case, then what do we get to see the Underking at any point? Is it that like I've never hear anything about the Underking post, well, Morrowind now. I thought it was something that, you know, got left behind in Daggerfall, but okay. Anyways. Meanwhile, Tiber Septim crowns himself the first emperor of Tamriel. He lives until he is 108, the richest man in history. All aspects of his early reign are rewritten. That's probably what happened here. Still, there are conflicting reports of what really happened, and this is why there is such confusion over such questions as, why does Alcair claim to be the birthplace of Talos, while the other sources say he came from Atmora? Why does Tiber Septim seem to be a different person after his first roaring conquests? Why does Tiber Septim betray his battle mage? Is the Mantella the heart of the battle mage, or is it the heart of Tiber Septim? Tiber Septim is succeeded by his grandson Pelagius I. Pelagius is just not of the same caliber. In truth, he's a little nervous with all these provinces. Then an advisor shows up. I was friends with your grandfather, the Underking says. He sent me to help you run the Empire. There it is! There's the return of the Underking! Answering my question right at the end. That's good. Okay, no, I liked that. The Underking has come back around. Okay. I kind of hope that we get to see more of like or hear, even if we don't see him, hear more about the Underking. Actually, no, I'd like to see the Underking again, meet him again, because I'm pretty sure we met him in Daggerfall, right? I think we did. So that was cool. To answer my giggling earlier, the way this book started off reading, if you go on. We're getting a little bit into like pop stuff, like culture. It's not really. Okay, go on Twitter, and look for. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. It's an account called Keaton Patty. He's this comedian, and he does these sometimes he does these transcripts where he claims to have let a bot watch like 1,000 hours of something and write a script, and it's written in this really weird manner. It's very much like this, and it's generally like nonsense, ridiculous, and it cracks me up every time. And when I was reading this, this has the same sort of stop go kind of very weird robotic tone that his we'll say like these comedy tweets have. And so whenever I see it, like when I was reading this, it just cracked me up, especially with some of the more outlandish stuff, like, you know, the storm went and spoke with him in his tent. Like it just had that kind of same goofy tone. Anyways, there's that. If you liked this book, you better have liked this book. Give this video a thumbs up. You know, this video here, you're not allowed to give it a thumbs down. No, you can't. You're not allowed. I said no. Unless you really didn't like it, then you can go ahead and give it a thumbs down. It's okay. It's all right. It's right. It's right. Just don't tell anyone I gave you permission, okay? Okay, thanks. Yes, that's right. Only thumbs up on this one. Either way, you know, either way that you liked it, because there's no way to not like it, let me know how you did like it in the comment section below. Yeah, and until next time, I'd like to ask you all to game on.